As Axie Infinity Origin approaches, we are getting leaks left, right and center, and today we got the runes and charms for bugs as well as secret classes. So let's start with the runes. I think they are a little bit more interesting, and the first one that we have is for a mech. So this one is adaptive program. You gain 10 bonus shield from cards and you gain 3 damage boosts whenever using a shield card. Now I'm not sure whether that will be that useful because I haven't seen many beast cards that have shield. That could be useful on a mech, as up to now mechs usually carry over shield carry over damage cards, not so much shield cards, right? So there could be an opportunity to try and exploit mechs that have very high shield cards, which haven't really been bred up to this point, so that could be an avenue to be explored in Origin. The next one that we have is a mech. This one is Arcane Protection. You take 5% less damage per buff on this Axie, capped at 20%. Now getting buffs stacked might not be as hard, depending if this counter is counterproductive when you have debuffs, right? So if you have one buff and one debuff, is that equal to 0, or does it just count the buffs? I assume it's just counting the buffs. Whether we will see a mech that utilizes this rune, we have to wait and see. Not sure this one is a good one at first glance. Celestial Might is another mech, another Dawn rune. This one deals 5% more damage per buff on this Axie. Now I like damage a little bit more than I like shielding and negating damage. I think this one could be a little bit better, especially when you put bird cards on it. Rune for a bug. Our first one is Collect and Protect. This art is beautiful with the ants collecting and protecting. In odd rounds you draw 1 additional card when your round starts. In even rounds you gain 30 shield when your turn starts. Very powerful, very powerful. Now you have to remember that playing shield right now you will have to play specifically shield cards to get shield. So whenever you can get shield, it's beneficial, and whenever you can get additional card draws, it's also very beneficial because you only draw 5 cards per turn, which might seem like a lot compared to what you get right now, which is 3 cards. But if you start drawing the 0 costs, if you start drawing some cards that are not useful, like your opponent can stuff your discard pile with completely useless cards. When your Axie dies, you get semi-useful cards as well. So getting those extra card draws, especially in the later stages of the game, could prove to be very useful. First dusk rune that we see is Cursed Ritual. Your attacks deal 3 bonus damage per curse ability in your deck, capped at 15 damage. 15 damage is quite a lot, honestly, per card. If you have like a 60 damage cards, that's gonna be over 20% more, right? So getting that stacked up can be quite good, depending how hard it is to get those curse abilities. Now we've already been through beasts, so I'm just gonna skip those, and we see another dusk one, which is Gloomy Dice. Pretty lengthy description of that one. In odd rounds, apply hex to all enemies for 2 turns, and at the start of your turn, and in even rounds you apply fear to all enemies for 2 turns at the start of your turn. So applying plenty of debuffs, which makes you a lot better when it comes to attacking with cards such as Sandal, which deals extra damage if someone has a fear, as well as with Thorny Caterpillar, which deals extra damage whenever someone has a debuff. So utilizing those cards with this rune, definitely something that could be explored, especially if you have something like the Cute Bunny Sandal combo and this one on top as well. Much easier to trigger that Sandal. Another set of runes coming from the Dawn. Your allies gain 1 damage boost whenever this Axie attacks, and your allies gain 8 shield whenever this Axie uses a skill. Playing a Dawn at the back or at the mid, which allows it to play quite a lot of cards throughout the game, therefore buffing your other Axies, could be okay. I'm not sure how much 1 damage boost is, whether that's worth it or not, whether you can remain energy efficient spamming your cards from a Dawn. We will have to find out. Not many runes from the Dawn so far seem like, okay, this is good, this is OP. Looks like they will have to be explored a little bit better, and I can't really do it on the spot. Next one that we have is Holy Prayer. It has a solo, which means that only one Axie per team can have this effect activated. When your turn starts, you remove one curse in your deck. You heal all teammates for 30 HP when successfully removing a curse. Again, not a big fan. Next one that we have is a mech one, Last Stand. Okay, so we finally have a rune for Last Stand. You will no longer have Last Stand in the game itself, so you need a rune for it. When taking a fatal hit, you survive with 1 HP until the end of the turn, and you can only activate one time per battle. After that, apply an irremovable heal block. So you only get one last stand. You can't just heal up and keep that Axie alive and then have another last stand. Doesn't work like that. Leftover potion is a neutral one. I think we've went through the neutral ones, so there's no need to go through them. Malediction from a dusk. You deal 10% more damage against debuffed enemies, and you take 20% less damage from debuffed enemies. Now this is very, very good because it's not that hard to apply a debuff to someone. It's easily doable to apply a debuff, especially if you run this rune on, let's say, mid lane or back lane Axie, and you rune Gloomy Dice on front lane or mid lane. You can easily combo these two, play like a triple dusk and have maximum value from them. Could be interesting, but I like this one. At first class, you debuff someone, you deal extra damage, especially let's say you bleed someone and then you have this rune equipped which deals 10% more damage to debuffed enemies, and then you play Neon as well, which deals extra damage versus bleeding targets. You can start stacking up that damage and really make a difference with those runes. Next one on the mech that we have is a shield backup. This Axie shield isn't removed when your enemy turns end. Shield can absorb 50% more damage. Wow, this one seems strong now. This one really seems strong when it comes to defending your Axie. Yeah, depending on how much shield you can actually play and what kind of targeting we will be facing in the meta, but this one at first glance seems very strong. The next one we have is a bug shield leecher. When your turn starts, you steal 50% shield from the enemy with the highest shield. So if you face this one, you can use the bug rune to counter that and steal some shield. Interesting mechanic. Sturdy fighter, non-multi hit attacks. The card deal bonus damage equal to current shield. Okay, so something like the square teeth that we have, which deals extra damage when you have shield. Interesting. Now, Vault Builder. When your turn ends, you gain shield equal to 3 times the number of cards in your discard pile. So the more cards you play, the more of utility you will get from this one. I wonder whether that will be playable depending on the size of the deck, probably later on in the game or like mid game when you already used a couple of them. That's where you will get most value from that one. Another dusk rune that we get is you gain 15 shield whenever you play a curse card, and then the last one is a mech. You deal 20% more damage if this Axie has shield. Is this mech is mech supposed to be some sort of a defensive class right now? Because we have seen 3 shield runes for a mech, as well as one that has last stand. So it looks like mech will be moving on to be quite a defensive class rather than a substitute for a high damage beast. And let's move on to the charms. We have plenty of charms for the secret classes as well as for bugs. The first one that we see is a mystic for a dusk. It's arid spell. You can enhance any attack card, and attack applies doubt for 2 turns. Doubt means that the target gains 20% less HP from healing. So something like the Scarab, but not as effective. Could be useful in the later stages if someone is playing a healing Axie at the back. We see a mech one that has retain, backup disc. Very simple, but makes it easier for you to set up a combo. Dawn, all teammates gain 2 healing busts. A healing boost increases healing card effect this unit by 1 HP per stack. And remember that damage boost as well as healing boost stack indefinitely, so, or infinitely. There's no cap on those. The next one that we see is coming from a bug energy drink. You can add banish if you want to run a banished deck, or if you have some sort of a useless Axie card that you want to get rid of, you can add banish to that one. And also the card's base stats go up by 20%. So if you put that on a Thorny, which is a 2 energy cost, you might want to use it once, but you don't really want to have it being drawn throughout the game. You can just use it once, get rid of it. But we have seen that energy drink a couple of times already. And then we have the basic ones for a bug, which is endurance, giving you more shield, power, giving you attack. So very simple ones. Then we see the neutrals as well: shield, heal, attack, HP. Very simple, not really too much to say about them. They're just something that you can slap on your Axie when you have the potential points. Cursed Doll, you can add a retain, so same thing as we have seen. This one for a dusk, adding a retain, always good if you want to set up a very specific combo and you don't really want to get rid of that card. If you, let's say you put that on a or on a sandal, right? Not sure if you will be able to have 4 potential points, or whether you can put that on a sandal, but nevertheless you put that on a card such as sandal, and then you can set up a fear combo where a sandal will deal extra damage. We see the energy drink again on a dawn, and then a bunch of really simple charms that give you health, attack, or shield. Then dusk, same thing, it has the energy drink and then the simple ones: attack, 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 just talismans of focus. And finally we see something unique, which is a 5 energy hacker's drive. Interesting name to release at this point. For a mech, attack applies disarm for 2 turns. Now I don't think disarm I don't think it has a place in the game, honestly, because it makes sure that your opponent cannot deal any damage to you. So just as oppressive as Graveland is in the current game, I think this debuff will get a lot of hate from the community, because if you are playing an offensive deck, a disarm just completely kills your Axie, making it useless if you don't have any shield cards, which makes it okay to balance, like making sure that you have to play shield cards on your Axie, but then again, having something as oppressive as disarm could be ruining the game a little bit. Then we have the simple mech talismans and charms, and now we see something interesting for a dusk, which is ultimate gain 2 damage busts. So plenty of damage busts from the dusk. We'll see how those get utilized. Maybe someone will be stacking them like crazy, increasing the damage, and then slapping someone with a hard damage dealer towards the end of the game. A couple of last ones. We see the mechs 4 cost, add innate, as well as ultimate gain 2 shield busts. So it looks like mech will be moving to that defensive class where it focuses on shields. And then the bug also adds innate. And last one, trickster's card, you draw 1 card. Very good, very good. Drawing that 1 extra card is really important in a game like that when it's draw dependent. So that's it for this video. If you guys, okay, I've missed this one, lazy snail. Attack applies weak for 2 turns, and weak means that the target deals 20% less damage. That one is actually quite good as well. So that looks like the 5 costs are very good, as they should be, because they cost more potential points, but the rest of them are quite simple, adding just the attacks and the shields and the HP, what have you. So let me guys know in the comment section down below, which rune and charm from the ones that we have leaked so far do you think is the best or will see the most use. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily playthrough and content, and I will see you in the next one.